Alright guys, nice to meet you everyone. So this is Jake and I got my IGN store Jake. I played in Frontier 6 as part of the ARR or All Rights Reverse. So let me introduce you my character. I'm playing as a biochemist, both PvE and PvP. PvE I use mostly as a demonstration as it gives me a best damage output to be top damagers in TR and other instances, especially Temple of Nightmare. The only instance that I'm always having a hard time is Jiperos or Jiperos. Other than that, I'm ready to hit you guys today. I'm gonna share to you how I play during GVG and PvP. So in a large scale and small scale PvP, I use the same build. What's that? I use utility build. I combined toughness with a little bit of damage. I don't damage actual build. Let me show you. So it's a straight off. I max out my bit and I max out my int. Simple as that. Why int? Because I need them attack. The MATK gives me an additional damage for the Mandragora Howling. As you can see here, Hell's Plant also depends on your MATK for the restoration, and it also the damage coming from Hell Plant is also magic. Hell Plant is damaging good. Honestly, if you can see, it can damage at least 100k. That depends, of course, on how soft or tough is your target. Sometimes it's only like 45k, 60k, but that doesn't matter. It will, an enemy can be hit multiple times once they start to come into you. You can put it on your party members. There's 4 options. You can put it on the member with the highest physical attack, member with the highest magic attack, and the highest power. Or you can use it yourself. So how I build the skill is basic. I don't use the cart clash. I just put the merchant skills, enlarge weight limit max, discount max, overcharge max, cart modifications max. Now this is kind of different when you come over here. You start with create potion at 5, learning potion at 5. You need this learning potion so you can bump your skill damage and your own move speed. Now acid terror you can start with at least level 5 just to unlock your demonstration, and then the ball grenade. So whenever you cast demonstration, you can reduce the enemy's physical and damage reduction by 10%. You max it out. Max out chemical protection for both weapon and armor, and add 5 to the marine spear. Now we move on to the next one. I'll start with the Biocannibalize. Biocannibalize can give us 5% max HP restoration with 500 HP per second to players within the area. But that's not the big thing. The big thing here is the additional 20 stats, raw stats that'll be added to yourself, and the additional self-defense by 30%. And this is really good when you're playing in small scale battles. Another thing is the health plan. You have to max it out. And the survival food. I like survival food because it gives us the capability to dive in. The effect is every 14 seconds it gives us an immediate removal of card control effects and gives us immunity for 6 seconds. So if we can synchronize this, every time we dive, every biochemist cast this to everybody on the team, they are being protected in game. They're being protected with this. To break their secondary weapon and their accessory. They get the Hell Essence effect that can last at 90 seconds. So this is great. Mandragora Howling, it's one of our arsenals other than the Acid Terror. It gives 700% neutral magic damage up to 10 targets. So it's like a damage over time kind of thing. It has a 30% chance to cast Scream. Scream can reduce the int of the target and will increase its global cooldown. So if the level of the skill is level 5, it can reduce up to 5 int and add up to 5% global CD for 10 seconds, and it can stack up to 10 times, meaning it can remove up to 50 int and a 50% global cooldown. And once it reaches the 10 stacks, the opponent will receive 3 seconds stun effect and all the buffs will be removed. And stop you, yeah, you will not get this same buff, this debuff for at least 5 seconds after that. But that's one of the perks of having a Howling Mandragora. Now I just add up to the corrosion research so that it can add up, it can boost the damage coming from acid terror, and cart burst for move speed, additional damage, and ignore PDEF and MDEF. So that's how my skill build is. As you can see, my feathers, it's a basic. I just balance out the attack and defense. Just make sure nothing is left behind. Right now, since I'm using int, my priority is assault. A lot of magic DPS, so you gotta pump up your MDEF. Use your soul tier feather. Right now, I'm using Fate tier, but whenever I do my TRs or I switch back to Acid Demo, I switch back to Valor or Strength instead of the int. As for my equipment, nothing new, just your divine divine armaments, and then I use Orleans for my offhand. If I'm playing the DPS or like in MVP, I got two Nalros, two two slotted Nalros, and with Mantis card. Just switch back to physical attacks. So the divine armament, you should have a plant for your weapon, godnies for the armors, or if you want a full-fledged DPS, that's up to you, but I'll go for godnies for toughness and shadow claws. You can also have immune shield if you want to. That depends on how you build it. As for the cards, my card is not that perfect though, but let me show you. I got an anti-stun effect from Orc Hero. I get healing and some PATK, max HP additional. This one's a demi-human reduction. This one I bought by mistake. Supposedly, apparently, PvP damage reduction and bonus is not effective, but I already opened up my puzzle cards the moment after the first and second wars, so I just committed on buying it. So I can't, just use it. I can't do anything about it already. But I don't advise you to buy Deviling. Maybe you can just buy a different card instead. I got a golden thief bug puppet, drop from the TR. I don't have cards yet here. Got Moonlight, Sohi, Peko. Sometimes I change it to the Sasquatch in PvP just to give an extra frozen status. Double Thara card. In PvE, I use Signum Crucis, or rather the Ancient Mummy card. I kinda use this sometimes, Ancient Mummy card to switch. It gives us additional 30 Signum Crucis can gives us additional damage boost. And it's a spamming. You try to use it. Okay, so that's how it is for my equip. Simple, right? Enchants, well, it's multiple factors. Just get superior MATK whenever you can. Then I get improved MDef. I do have other stats though, but I can't get a higher level for this one yet. But I highly suggest you boost your MDef. Get resilience for this. If I can get a vitality boost, maybe. Oh no, an improved MDef rather. I might be getting improved MDef. But for now, since it gives us Vit and Quick Rest, I just use this one instead. So yeah, this was Vitality Boost, Magic Boon, of course. But if you can get a better one, then that's better. Anti-Magic, Vitality Boost too. More on defensive. If it's an armor or just focus on the defensive. In both accessories, I just grab up that gives me additional magic damage, and then superior attack for both my costume and backwear. So yeah, so in short, it's a combination of defensive and chance, whichever works for you. If you want to counter crit, that's okay. If you want to counter the assassins, the C-Nex, that's fine. The Pali, go ahead. I always go for PDAM Redux and Magic Redux just to balance it out. Lately, it's more like Magic, fight against professors or sorcerers so you can win against them. Medals, I just balance it out between Wisdom, Charm, and Tempest. Any of these three, focus on this so you can be tough. Same goes with my barding as well. My barding is kinda, I'm trying to get the damage reductions in everywhere just to add up to it. Yeah. Now I'm excited to show you how I play it. It may seem like it's useless, like it's not good at anything, but once you saw its impact on the actual game, you can think about using it. Okay? So without further ado, I'll show you how it goes. Both, I'll show it to you, both GVG and PvP. So without further ado, I'll show you the GVG and the PvP performance. Here you go.